Hello, it's Patsy from Two Past Paro. I'm talking today about past life cards. What's made me make a video on them is I've seen just lately on a few places that the Doreen Virtue past life oracle is going for silly amounts of money. I saw it on Amazon, £100. Whether that's because this one is going to be taken off and it's not going to be re-released in just Brian L. Weiss's name, or I don't know, but you can still get them a few places for the original price, but a lot of places are tending to be out of stock or selling for silly amounts of money. Now, I've had these a while. I don't use them an awful lot. I mean, this, you can tell by the deck, you know, they're in such good condition because I very rarely use them. Do you know what I mean? They're I don't know if you've seen them, but this is the kind of thing that you get with these cards. I mean, to me, they don't really. I've used them with other decks, but not very often. Not very often. So that's what's brought me on here, because I want to talk about this other deck that I had brought me from my daughter. It's called Reincarnation Cards Awakening Far Memory. Now this is a deck that it says on the front, discover yourself, remember what you were and who you are, remember past and future incarnations, and wake up from the dream of life. Something generally new under the sun, a fascinating and potentially valuable tool for developing self-knowledge and for confronting life problems and patterns that otherwise resist resolution. It's a good box. I mean, it's quite sturdy old box, look. Its publishers are Germa Publishers in Cyprus. And they have a website, www.reincarnationcards.com. The authors are John Knowles, MA, and Linda LeBlanc. That's whose deck this is. Now, when you open your box up, you get a proper hard book. Proper, you know, it's not a flimsy, it's a proper hard book. And it explains at the front there is an acknowledgement, but at the front there's table of contents, foreword about different things, evidence for past life, etc. References to different books that you can check through, the benefits of doing reincarnation, and then you go on to the cards, and then you get a page and a bit of each card. Again, you've got a section there, the cards and their meanings. And there is resources, list for further research, and it goes up to page, 204. Okay, so it goes up to page 204. So you get quite a lot of information in there, and like I said, it is a good little book. The actual cards, just sort them out into, the thing is, the actual cards are, they're not too bad in cardstock. I suppose they could be better. That's mixed up. But they're perfectly adequate, and they're quite a big size. They're an oracle size, I'd say. I'd say these are more oracle size cards. So, okay, so these are the cards that you get. On the back, well, each section is a different colour, and that's the back of one of the sections, and that's the purple. And in there, you get cards of different areas of the world. So you get India, the southeast of Asia, you get Celtic, Central America, China and Japan, the Renaissance, Central Asia, Tibet, Rome, Islamic, Mesopotamia. Now this is the only card I tend to take out, alien, and that's supposed to, you know, give you a future life that you're going to reincarnate, but I tend to take that one out. The indigenous tribal, proto-historic, the Dark Ages, Greece, Egypt, and South America. So they're all like the cards, that sort of the different areas around the world. This one is a white back, and these one are all kind of like areas that you worked in that particular life. So we've got stuck together, in law, it's one of them. Oh. Worked within education, within health, the military, a builder, a trader, agriculture, courtesan, an artist or artisan, within the government, a beggar, a labourer, a mother, or something religious. So they're all like the different areas of what you actually did in that past life. The next section, I've got a green backing, and these are sort of like the area that you lived in, the landscape and the sort of terrain that was in your area where you was living. So you've got fields, desert, marine, forest, seashore, mountain, upside down, town, city, city, riverine. Okay, so that's like the different sort of things where you lived. That's that, yeah. What kind of life did you leave in that past life? So this is the section has got a red backing, and you've got justice and injustice. So you either suffered through justice or injustice. Your life was abundant or penury, is it? Or that life was all about, I mean, we all have lessons to learn, and these cards against that. Growth. So the last one could be that it was a lifetime to make growth in your soul. Stability and instability. Freedom and servitude. Power. Creativity and destruction. Greed and generosity. Betrayal. Love and indifference. Or you could have been on a journey of fear. So that's sort of like the other section, and this is the final section, which is the fifth section, which is, like purple. The first one was more of a blue. There's not much difference between the colours of those two. But this one is how that previous life ended. So we've got a disease, we've got starvation, water, you attack, you have war, we have suicide, we have catastrophe, an accident, or it was just peaceful, or the last card is fire. So the aim of these cards is to sort of get an overall picture, and the book does explain the cards quite well, an overall picture of what a previous life was for you at that time. So, you know, you'll start with probably picking a card, say, from this one. Let me have a look, see what I am. And I've got Celtic. Okay, so that would tell me that I had a previous life in one of the Celtic areas. And then again, you would choose again from one of the other ones, and what was I doing in this lifetime as a Celtic, and within law. Okay, so you would then pick up your next section, and what was the area like that I lived in this Celtic area with law. And it was an area where there was a lot of fields. It was an agricultural area. So, I mean, it goes further in depth into the book. I'm just giving you a rough idea. And then the last one, what was that lifetime to learn? What was I learning in that lifetime? And I was betrayed. Okay. So the last one would be, you know, how did that lifetime end? So you would choose a card from the last section, and disease. Okay, so that's just a quick sort of how they actually work, and it's through your intuition and reading the books. And what I used to do when I did these readings, I'd journal everything, and then I would add on like further cards for different things. Very often I'd do a tarot spread in conjunction with whatever cards I had. I've done 2 full readings with these, and one of them, the first ones that I'd done, rang, well, they both did actually, but they rang so true. Now I have a terror of water, large expanses of water. Don't know where this fear comes from, but it's deep rooted, and it's very, it's very takes over my life, if you like. You know, I will not go into water where it goes above here. I won't go near the sea or lakes or anything like that. I panic if my children go anywhere near water, and I have no idea why I do this, but I've always done it. That fear is always with me. I've never learned how to swim because the thought of going into water that deep would scare the hell out of me. So that's something that I've never done. When I'd done one of my very first past life reading, well, actually both lives, it said both of those lives ended in water through drowning. So that to me kind of explains why I've carried that fear over into this life, and my distrust of people. In both of those lives that I've done, I was betrayed. So again, whether or not you believe in past lives or believe in reincarnation, these cards are very good for doing a lot of work, or to start you off on what actually is deep within you, what's seated within you. And I found that when you add the tarot and other things with the deck, to get deeper and deeper into it and use your intuition and get it all down on paper, journal it all and what have you, it can make total sense of what you're going through in this lifetime. So if, you know, somebody is out there is interested in past life regression, which is really expensive, I know I looked into that, and it's sort of £60 a session, and they said at least 2 sessions. that's out of my price range. But these cards helped me go deeper within myself. Do I believe that I had a past life in Tibet, where I was, you know, ultimately betrayed and killed in water? Yes, probably was. My second life was in South America and the indigenous people, and again I have had this love of that kind of culture for as long as I can remember. I have no idea where it's come from because nobody else shares it with me, and I listen to that kind of music, and the interest is so deep that there has to be something there. And it didn't surprise me when I pulled the cards out to say that I'd had a previous life in this area, and again I died through water, and again through being betrayed. So again, there was two deep fears that I have in this life, of being betrayed and of water. So to sit and journal about them and to go deeper into why I feel like I do, have been a real help. So I would say, if you're going to go out and get a deck, I wouldn't pay the hundreds of pounds being asked for this, but I would recommend looking into this. So that's what I wanted to pop on today, and I think I paid, well, my daughter paid about £35 for that, so it's quite expensive to some, you know, when you sort of mass produce decks, sort of anywhere between £10-20. I mean, they are a bit dearer, but the book itself is very in-depth and well worth it. And like I said, if nothing else, these cards do make you look at what's going on in your life now and how you can remedy that, and that can only be a good thing. So I thought I'd pop on and share that with you. Thank you for listening. Bye.